Fade in. Backstage. There are no indications in this shot that it is backstage, but be assured that it is. Meet Barbie Dirk and Barbie Jake. Two handsome dudes, and who can blame the camera for keeping cozy? Or maybe that's because the director doesn't want to expose the fact that it's backstage yet. We're all held in mystery, completely unaware that their surrounds are contrived in one sense. They are in a theater. But genuine in another. They are not on stage. There's a set piece in the background that's reminiscent of the balcony from Romeo and Juliet. Not because that has any bearing on the story, just because it's backstage, and what the hell kind of backstage would it be if there wasn't one? That is to say, it could hardly be considered a terribly proper backstage at all. Dirk and Jake tend to spend a lot of their time in circumstances that are simultaneously and contradictingly contrived and genuine.
We've done shows together before. Some might even say too many shows. But that's ridiculous. You could never have too many shows. And we're friends now. Correctamundo. So, just because this is a romance, which was all Dave and Roxy's choice, by the way, that doesn't mean it has to be weird. Perish the thought! Okay, good. Good to establish that.
Some generic orchestra tuning sounds start up in the background. Jake starts to move, presumably towards the stage, but Dirk holds him back.
Shouldn't we scurry our tails along to our places? Yeah, in a second. We don't talk anymore. And I get why. We're fucking messy, and I really fucked up. Several times. But we're bros. We can talk. I don't know about that. We talk all the time. Jake, come on. I would, but they're literally seconds away from lifting the friggin' curtain, dude. It's going to be both our biscuits on the burner if we don't get in place. Yeah.
They stare at each other. Or rather, Dirk stares at Jake. Jake stares at the wall behind Dirk. In fairness, it's not easy to aim doll's gazes. Muppet Carcat rushes onto the scene. Picture a gray Oscar the Grouch with candy corn horns when conjuring this mental image. The camera's view widens, revealing the backstage area, which is absolutely filthy with Muppets getting ready to start the show. Muppet Dave, looking like a cross between Kermit and a Knacadile, shit's adorable, moves from his very cool pose, sitting at Kermit's little desk thing, and walks casually towards the stage.
15 seconds to curtain, assholes!
It is not Carcat's job to announce this. He just likes to stick his horns in where they're not especially needed or appreciated. The assorted Muppets run around until the backstage area is clear. Dirk and Jake watch from the wings. The astute viewer might notice that they didn't really have anywhere to be that would have prevented Jake from saying one fucking sentence worth of reassurance. But maybe the 30 seconds before the ritual massacre of an iconic, puppet-centric musical entertainment show is not the time or place for such a discussion.
It's the Smuppet Show with our very special guest stars, Mr. Dirk Strider and Mr. Jake English!
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Smuppets on the Smuppet Show tonight.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Smuppet Show tonight.
Why do we always come here?
I guess we'll never know.
It's like a kind of torture to have to watch the show.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Smuppetational. This is what we call the Smuppet Show!
Hello and welcome to the Smuppet Show. We got a great show for you today. Let's not dance around this. I'm just gonna hit you with the elevator pitch. I mean, let's assume the elevator's a slow one. There's like 1,000,000 floors, and the elevator's badly due for a service. The wires are kind of creaking like a seat yo mama just sat in. You're pushing the button over and over, but I'm still there yapping it up over this idea I've had for a TV show. And you can't exactly put your hands over your ears. Okay, sure, you're trying that now, but my voice goes deep, baby. Some subterranean shit, deep like the fossil of a dope dinosaur that was just minding his business one day until BAM! Heart disease took him out. He was grabbing his chest like, oh God, I forgot to take out life insurance. And then he toppled ass backwards into a tar pit. And now he's ripe for the digging up and brushing off, but we had to get deep to get there. Deep like my voice. So, here's the pitch. Two of Earthsea's most popular god/actors star in a Muppet Show ripoff, where the gimmick is a Jane Austen ripoff, and the Jane Austen shit was written by Rose Lalonde and then edited by Roxy Lalonde, and everyone's fucking Muppets. I mean, everyone is Muppets to a fucking delinquent degree. No one is fucking Muppets here. No Muppets were fucked in the making of this show. Anyway, we got guests, yo. You know them from such shows as From Skya with Love, Fly Little Pony, Fight Club is Magic, and Rumble in the Pumpkin Patch. Beloved audience, I give you Dirk Strider and Jake English.
A walking path winds through a large estate. Dirk and Jake stand together, leaving a respectable distance between them. Maybe a respectable and a half distance. They're wearing Regency-appropriate clothes and an air of supreme awkwardness.
Do you like the grounds? They're beautiful. You walk here often? Yeah. Do you... Sorry. Sorry. You go. Do you think you'll stay in Blankshire long? Maybe. Yeah. It's beautiful. I'd like it if you did. I mean, it's good to see the manor let out. It's been empty for ages. I hope that my filling it makes up for my society. Mr. Strider, I quite like your society.
Dirk looks at Jake with tormented, plastic eyes. His expression is as motionless as it is handsome. This, to those who understand Dirk Strider, is what he looks like when he has something to say.
I know that it is only in the last week that I have made your acquaintance, and I know that it would be the height of foolishness for me to express any feelings so early on, but I feel like I've known you for years. I feel that your soul and mine are irrevocably entwined. With this in mind, it would be more foolish, and perhaps even unethical, if I was to attempt to conceal the degree to which I already love you. I do not expect you to return these feelings, but it would be dishonest of me to proceed into a friendship with you without disclosing them.
Jake looks nervously off stage. There's awkward silence for a beat. Muppet Dave walks onto the stage.
Cut! I'm by no means an expert, but this seems like a divergence from theatre protocol. Actually, I am an expert. I've directed many ridiculous shows. Dave, you can't just yell cut willy-nilly in a live show just because I couldn't pull a suitable response from twixt my luscious lad lumps. The audience deserves a little fucking respect.
Cut to the balcony, where two helpers reside. Agreeing to their roles as hecklers was integral to procuring their services. A frankly ridiculous compromise given the options for other recreation available, which is to say, there are fuck all other options for recreation available. Barbie Terezi and Barbie Rose, as may be expected from those names, are not Muppets.
The audience deserves an anvil to the head to put them out of their misery.
I'll go fetch one.
Only one?
That's all we'll need with this turnout.
Dave does not remotely react to Jake's condemnation. The only indication he gives that he even hears it is that he doesn't talk while Jake is speaking.
Dirk, you are doing it again. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play dumb. I never would. This isn't Rose's book we're filming, it's Roxy's adaptation. I have my script memorized. I didn't ask you if you remembered your lines. I told you that you're saying the wrong words. Apart from anything else, you're throwing Jake off.
Dirk looks at Jake. Jake smiles sunnily. This could be in agreement with Dave asking for a bit more leeway. It could be a display of willingness to follow Dirk's lead. Or it could just be because he doesn't know what else to do. Dirk looks back at Dave.
Roxy's version isn't exactly period appropriate.
Muppet Roxy, the gopher of this show, peeks out from the side of the stage. By all rights, Roxy should look like Scooter or maybe Gonzo. But you try and incorporate those aesthetics into whatever it is Roxy has going on at any given moment, and you'll agree with me that a pink cat furry was the only logical step.
It's not supposed to be. I thought you liked when I got all absurd with it.
I do. It's just a serious scene.
We're doing Roxy's version, we agreed. I will recast if I have to.
You will?
Yeah, and then you'll have to watch John deliver the most wooden performance in the history of theater, and we'll all hate it.
I can do Roxy's version.
I know you can. Tell me you will.
I will do Roxy's version.
Alright, well, this scene is officially dead. Time to drag its fetid corpse off stage and move on so we can make an attempt at not running over. I object to that! Where's the context, Dave? Where's the drama? The next scenes won't make a lick of sense if you skip this one. Let Dirk tell me he loves me like a douchebag.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to see that? I promise it'll be believable.
Fine. From I Quite Like Your Society.
Everyone gets their shit together. The stage clears, and Dirk and Jake resume their awkward positions.
I quite like your society.
Cool. Really cool, actually. Dude, I know it's soon, I get that, but I'm just mad in love with you already. I feel like I've known you forever, like maybe we've done this before, in other lives. I just don't want to pretend like I feel nothing, you dig? Playing it cool when I feel like this would be really lame of me.
You're coming on a scoot too strong, man. I feel some kind of connection too, but give a guy 5 fucking minutes to wrap his noggin around it. Just let me go at my own pace.
Yeah, of course, man. It'd be straight up unreasonable of me to deny you that.
Dave moves downstage as the curtains close so that he can address the audience.
Thanks, folks. What a scene. Those two really are on the same page. Nothing could possibly go wrong, am I right? This next scene is equally as awesome, obviously. Put your hands together for Count Kanaya!
Behind the curtains, Muppet Carcat enters, pushing some piece of scenery out onto the stage for Kanaya's act. He pauses to shriek at Dirk and Jake. That's kind of his thing.
Get into your places, you dick-scratching D-listers! I swear to God, how difficult is it to clear a fucking stage? I shouldn't have to say this every goddamn time!
Dirk and Jake move off stage in one direction, Carcat in the other. Dirk pulls in a breath like he's about to speak, but Jake shakes his head and points at where Muppet Kanaya is about to gracefully slaughter some Muppet chickens. Sorry, Camilla.
Phenomena. Phenomena. Phenomena.
You know what they say about vampires in show business.
They suck. Phenomena.
Kanaya leads a line of now vampiric chickens off stage, where Dave is at his prompt book. She stops right next to him and counts each chicken as it passes.
Thanks, Kanaya. You were great.
I know.
Set dressed like the interior of a mansion, set up for a ball. Muppets dance in the background, like the classic recurring sketch that sometimes occurs on the less acclaimed antique, The Muppet Show. A couple of musicians play in the corner. This includes Muppet Roxy and Muppet John, i.e. Fozzie Bear, but with a John-ish twist. John is at a piano. I know. No one is forgetting Rolf. Trust me, John is Fozzie. And it's actually canon that Fozzie can play the piano. As soon as the camera leaves the band, John and Roxy appear among the waltzing Muppets. The continuity on this show leaves something to be desired, but it's chill.
Why should you never dance with horses?
Because they have 2 left feet!
Muppet Jade waltzes past with a horse. They both give Dave and Carcat dirty looks.
Ignore them, baby.
Honestly, I can't believe it.
John and Roxy dance into view with more enthusiasm than style.
Did you hear about the chocolate record player?
Sounds sweet.
Dirk and Jake are stage left, talking and observing, not dancing.
Mr. English, I get that you're mad put out about this whole thing, but it's all just a misunderstanding. I'm not here to pressure you. We can be friends while you fall in love with me, right? Friends generally care even a little bit about each other's personality. I can appreciate that you have a fondness for my keister, but I'm more than that. Damn, sounds like someone just got back from Mansfield's snark. Look, I know the way this story goes, and I have to resist you right now. I know the way the story goes too, and I say, fuck it. Yeah, we could follow some satisfying arc where we earn our happily ever after by first miscommunicating and then growing as people individually, but that means I have to pine after you for even more screen time while we both do that, and I don't want to. I already did that shit before the story began, and the goddamn script is gonna make me do it again. I want to be with you now. We could be together now. We both know that's the way this story is going. That's where I think the story is going. But actually, how is that? Who put this plot in my head? Does it matter? You know it is a story. We both know. Isn't that enough? No, it's not! Here's the thing, Mr. Strider. You're so in love with the idea of me that you want to skip over the part where you learn to see me as a person. I can understand that, because, to be honest, I'm not much of a person. I'm a silly gentleman who has certain turns of phrases, and that's it. That's all I am. But maybe I don't want to learn how to improve myself or fall in love with you, like how I think the story is supposed to go. Whoa there, cowboy. No, I think you are onto something. Fuck the story. I'm going to choose my path. What kind of a path could a himbo like you possibly choose? Magic.
Dirk stares at Jake, severely unimpressed.
Look, there are rules to these things. The story has to progress how it was written. I was suggesting a minor alteration, that we just humor the bullshit rich people contrivance and let that carry the plot, but be in love now on the DL. You're talking about changing the motherfucking genre. I'm supposed to refuse this dance anyway. Why don't you go sulk over there, Mr. Strider? I'll see you in the next scene that throws us together.
Dirk stays for one more moment, feeling contempt for a love interest who refuses to be interested. Then he stalks away and approaches John.
May I have this dance?
John looks at Roxy, who he was dancing with. Roxy gallantly backs off in order to allow Dirk the opportunity to revenge dance with a close relation of his ex-lover.
Sure.
Dirk and John start dancing. Dirk stares at Jake over John's short, muppety head.
Why don't eggs tell jokes? Yeah, we're not doing that.
Jake, pleased with his innovative, inspired, and low-key, incoherent plan, looks straight out over the audience, smiling inanely and tapping his feet to the song. On stage, Muppet Dave and Barbie Dirk are in front of closed curtains. The Striders have a lot in common. Aforementioned intensity, sweet shades, and mad skills of the disc jockey persuasion. Every now and then we scratch about it, and this evening you're being treated to some primo spinach.
So, as you know, this is an established show, and we've had many guests. Among them have been such highlights as new John Cusack, and I can't believe it's not Matthew McConaughey. But literally, fuck those guys, and you know I have. Because one of the guests tonight is the only person who has ever mattered, and who will ever matter to me, Mr. Dirk Strider. Thank you for being here tonight.
You're welcome.
You're coming out a bit intense, bro. It's a Strider thing. But seriously, there have been some rocky moments in our history, but the one thing I can rely on is this guy right here. He's done some shit, but who hasn't?
I have done nothing wrong, ever, in my life.
I know this, and I love you. Anyway, here's this fucking song, I guess.
Together again. Gee, it's good to be together again. I just can't imagine that you've ever been gone. It's not starting over, it's just going on. Together again. Now you're here and there's no need remembering when. 'Cause no feeling feels like that feeling. Together again. Together again. Gee, it's good to be together again. I just can't imagine that you've ever been gone. It's not starting over, it's just going on. Together again. Now you're here and there's no need remembering when. 'Cause no feeling feels like that feeling. Together, together, together again.
The song ends to rapturous applause. There are probably tears. Shit's embarrassing, audience. Get it together.
Thanks, folks. Obviously, that moment of Strider's sincerity is a one-off that will not occur again until the heat death of the universe, which, let's be real, Dirk will probably protect us from. But whatever. Put your hands together for the Crocker Chef!
Dirk walks and Dave bounces off the stage. And the curtains draw back. They reveal Muppet Jane at a kitchen side.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Today I will be baking a classic fruitcake. The first step is to gather your ingredients.
Jane uncovers a platter to reveal an apple, lime, orange, and lemon from Jade Capsulog something. Whoa, I hear you say. We're outright referencing pages now? Yeah, motherfucker, that's what we're doing. I know the page I'm talking about, and so do you. Unless you just skimmed through and read every log that I feature in. Couldn't blame you, but I've read it that way too, and it's a recipe for an evening of intense masochism. And it makes no goddamn sense as a narrative. Anyway, the fruit immediately run away from poor Janie.
The important thing to remember when baking is that you must be prepared for anything.
Jane chases the fruit around the Chrome Island bench, occasionally laughing. She manages to catch a lime and throws it at the cake pan. It's very Swedish Chef, but less racist. Actually, I have no idea if the Swedish Chef is racist. Surely, right? But, you know, it's Sweden.
Sometimes I'm glad I'm a machine.
Why's that?
Because I can erase that vignette from my memory banks.
Understage. This is different from the backstage set the Muppets use. This is an area in the foreground with some Barbie scale camera equipment and monitors. This is where the Barbie puppeteers hang out. We can see the chef's skit still in progress in the background. Barbie Jane is puppeting the chef and a few other Barbies are controlling the fruit. Barbie Carcat lumbers past, pulling a trash can with his Muppet limp inside it. The camera follows him as he walks past Barbie Dave in his director's chair, watching the chef bit on a monitor. Muppet Dave is sat in a second chair. He likes to pretend he's people. Barbie Jane enters with Muppet Jane under her arm. Both Daves look at her as she approaches.
Dave, do you have a moment?
I'm made of time.
Barbie Aradia passes behind them and gives finger guns to the camera. She continues pushing the ghost light across the room. Is she a part of the show? Does this imply that she and Solix exist? I literally could not give a fuck, and you shouldn't either. Seriously, don't try to figure out what a mage class does, and don't try to figure out where Solix is at any given time. He's just a wannabe troll Dave with a lisp.
I have some concerns about the show.
What kind of concerns? Good ones, I hope.
What? No, just, do you think it's a good idea to cast Jake and Dirk in these roles, given their history?
I know, it's genius, right? I surprise myself sometimes.
But they're not good for each other, Dave. Them together isn't good for anyone. Don't you remember last time?
Oh, you think I'm playing matchmaker? No, dude, it's fine. It's just convenient for me because it's like they've been method acting for these parts for like 10 years.
Oh. What if this accidentally rekindles their feelings, though? Isn't that cruel?
Listen, this ain't High School Musical. He's not Sharpay, and he's not Ryan. There's no heteronormative incest happening here. They don't just fall in love because one of them is on a poorly constructed fake balcony.
I suppose not.
I'm gonna need you to get your head in the game, Jane. Do you want a bigger part? Is that what this is really about?
No, I'm just worried about my friends.
I'm so serious about this that I'm about to break out of Azkaban and prance around in dog form.
Okay.
I'm so serious, I was gonna do serial numbers and then breakfast cereal, but that'd probably be a stretch. But don't let my rare analogical misstep distract from how fucking serious I am. Hand on my little plastic heart, I hear your concerns and assure you that I don't intend Dirk and Jake to get back together.
Jane thinks. Dave drums his fingers on the prompt book. Finally, Jane looks up and smiles.
Okay, I trust you.
Dirk and Jake are in a library, both sitting in armchairs and holding books. Dirk is not reading his. He's staring at Jake. Jake is also not reading his, but he's pretending very hard. He just doesn't seem to have any notion of how quickly a book's pages should be turned. Honestly, he'd be better off pretending to do literally anything else. Roxy, Dave, and Kanaya are in the background, reading books and pointing at the artwork, general background stuff like that.
There's a spooky abbey that's an hour's drive away. We could take a picnic or some shit. Seems like the kind of thing you'd be into. Well, I do like picnics. Sweet. It's supposed to be haunted. That's gonna be some contrived bullshit that'll send you into my arms in a way that you'll totally pretend means nothing, but really makes you realize how strong I am. Did somebody say magic? What? No.
The camera pans back to Jake, who is now standing up in his wizard clothes, looking gleeful. It pans back to Dirk for a reaction shot. Were he capable of reaction, he sure would be having one. Unfortunately, on top of being a stone-cold motherfucker, he is also a Barbie. You know what? Sometimes Barbie's perfect expressionlessness can convey a lot. You see that dead smile? That's an extremely appropriate reaction. Jake starts singing, with Roxy, Dave, and Kanaya providing appropriate oohs and ahs.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart?
Jake accompanies his singing with magic, like cards shooting out from his sleeves and rabbits leaping out of hats, that kind of thing. Not really a wizardy aesthetic, but what the fuck do I care? Dirk leaves the stage. This is his limit. Cut to understage. Jane and Roxy are talking.
It's going well, right?
Your script is very creative.
And?
I love your writing, Rolal. Some of it goes over my head, but I actually like those bits the most. You and Strider have fun with this kind of thing. It's nice to see.
Janie, OMG, I have fun with everything I do.
Sure. How are you finding this? I notice that you haven't written 4 musical numbers for yourself.
I'm the unseen puppet master, Lamau. Dystry ain't got nothing on me.
I believe that. Still, don't avoid the question.
Don't eat me alive. Jeez. Lol. Okay, I don't know. It's fun, Obs, and it's a dream come true, because I'm adapting Rose's stuff and she freaking loves it. There's just something deeply uncomfy about not being in the BG, you know?
You were never in the background.
Yeah, I was, but that's sweet of you to say.
Anyway, how much of Jake's wizardry is scripted?
I'd say like 40%. Kid's really running with it, Lamau.
The camera pans back to Jake, who is still going, somehow.
Believe in the magic of a young girl's soul. Believe in the magic of a rock and roll. Believe in the magic that can set you free. Ooh.
Do you believe? Well, no, Fluffy, no. Ah! You know Fozzie Bear's set? Yeah, it's like that. Like, I've taken a screenshot, then taken it to MS Paint and extrapolated the bit that's usually covered by Fozzie standing in front of it. It's green because my printer is a piece of shit. I'm playing coy. You know why it's green. I could have done a better job, but not a perfect one. So I did the next best thing and made something that Dave would laugh at. Or maybe not. I don't think I ever got a handle on his sense of humor.
Why do dads take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing? In case they get a hole in one! Thank you.
You're bad at jokes!
And you have daddy issues.
Rude.
Understage. Dirk and Jake are there, and there's the monitor where John is performing. It feels empty, even though every now and then there's the faint sound of laughter, applause, and boos from the audience.
I get the feeling that everyone is trying to set us up. Like, for real. Yeah, I got that impression too. Is that what you want? Jake, I miss you, man. Not like that.
Neither of them are convinced that it is, indeed, not like that. But they both want to be, so that's good enough. It'd be so much simpler if it was not like that.
Do you remember when we were 15 and we watched Face Off together? We voice called and pressed play at the same time. But yours was a couple of seconds in front of mine. I heard you laugh or gasp or whatever before I saw what it was at. Yeah, you gave me a fair walloping for that.
Jake laughs. Dirk expresses the fact that he feels kind of guilty by not actually expressing it at all. It's not like he actually feels guilty for ribbing Jake about his taste in movies. He just wasn't often gentle, and that was shitty of him.
But it was different when I could hear you. Has anyone ever said that you sound like a complete tight-ass trying to seem hip to the jive? Not in those words. Well, you do over text. All of your y'alls and hanging G's. Like you read the manual on being cool. Gee, thanks. You're not like that in person. I liked hearing the humor in your voice. I liked hearing your voice crack. I was 15. Of course my voice cracked. Yeah, and I liked it. Okay. Sorry, I took over what you were saying. I like that memory. Same. I was completely in love with you. Obviously. Or maybe it wasn't obvious. You said you didn't know, but it wasn't just that. It was more than that. I loved being your friend. I loved being your friend too. And I think I loved you too. Don't do that. Don't overwrite what we had to make some kind of story. Well, who could I possibly have learned that from? Still. Would it be the worst thing in the world if we got back together? Not the worst thing in the world as a low bar, old bean. Is that what you want? Man, I don't even know. It's hard to tell. We've been doing this dance for a long time. Since we met for real. Hey, let's just text from now on.
It's a joke, so they both laugh half-heartedly. They both know that wouldn't work either. They're quiet for a moment. On the screen, Muppet Dave is closing John's scene. He leaves the stage, but the curtains remain closed. The audience is waiting for its leading men. They can fucking wait. We're finally getting somewhere.
I thought I hated you. I know! Did you hate me? Sometimes. Shit, I didn't expect that to hurt. That's how it goes with us. Dirk, it's okay that you don't know where we stand. I never expected you to know it all, didn't you? Maybe I did. I fell for it. Fell for you, pretending to be so competent. I am competent. I liked when you weren't.
Imagine that. Imagine being told that someone likes you when you're not perfect. Where does that leave you? Are you then supposed to try to be imperfect? Maybe get really good at it? It's a paradox. We had this conversation, or close enough, more than once. We'll have it again, and it'll feel honest and new again. And then we'll fall back into old patterns.
Let me catch up, Dirk. Just stop with the ultimatums. Give me till the end of the show. Let us play out the fantasy of growing as people in a world where I can't fuck it up. Okay. I miss you too. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Dirk and Jake are, God, I don't fucking know, playing croquet or some shit. It's here that we see the true beauty of the whole Regency gimmick. In a modern adaptation, where would they be? A bowling alley? No, contemporary settings are bullshit. No one ever gets out in the fresh air. Let me tell you right the fuck now, fresh air is one of the few things that challenges my atheism. Recycled shit just doesn't cut it. There's a different taste. Shame that the guy who could help me out with this is stinking up Terezi's Silodex. After establishing the croquet shot at length, the camera alternates between focusing on Dirk and Jake.
I really didn't want to be in this state, dude. I've tried to push these feelings down, but nothing fucking works. You should be nothing to me. I've tried to make you nothing to me. You're an idiot, and you do it on purpose. Your family is idiotic too. Your raps are so bad that I think magic was involved, except that you're the worst fucking wizard I've ever encountered. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. So I have to ask, not for the first time, but fuck dignity, am I right? Will you put me out of this straight-up agony and marry me? Ugh. Christ, I'm going to have to give you a straight dicking here, or you're going to think you can just keep doing this. Sorry, but no. What? And also, why?
This time, when the camera swaps to focus on Jake, he's dressed like a wizard. It's a fun little quirk that keeps happening, designed to make Dirk's ginormous brain meat dissolve into a puddle of piss like some cotton candy an idiot raccoon tried to wash.
Well, I think you managed to insult me on just about every axis that is in my possession there. So, no, you blew it. You're arrogant, and you expect me to just go along with whatever you say, and we've tried this all before, so I could never, ever marry you. Are you serious? Yes. Why don't you try just being comfortable with yourself? No schemes, no high-stakes nonsense, nothing to distract you from who you are. Don't distract myself from who I am? Jake, I would rather peel my fingers one by one, boil them, and then arrange them neatly on a plate so that you could devour them in front of me. I would rather be trapped in an alternate reality where every morning I had to have brunch with Briska, and every evening I had my eyes popped out of their sockets. I would rather live in Ohio. It's really sad that you hate yourself this much.
Jake disappears in a puff of smoke. Dirk calls out his retort to empty air.
I can't believe you just said that to me.
A beat. Dirk is alone on stage. The curtains fall closed. Cut to understage. Barbie Dave approaches Barbie Kanaya, who is sitting listlessly in a corner.
How do you think it's going?
There are definitely antics happening.
Yeah, that's not really an answer.
I suppose not. To be honest, I have some qualms.
Qualms?
Yes, like little emotion bundles that make you think that maybe things aren't quite right.
I know what qualms are, dude.
Okay, well, I don't know what you do and don't know. and you seemed confused. Do you have qualms?
Not really, but then, this is my show. It's pretty baller.
Perhaps I should take my qualms elsewhere.
Oh my god, would you stop saying qualms?
No.
Okay, I can respect that. What's this about? Is it because you have taste and this basically doesn't? I don't see why you would care about the Dirk and Jake thing. Not that there is a thing. This is all pretend, obviously.
It's about the Dirk and Jake thing.
Weird. Why?
Would you believe me if I said that Dirk shares certain attributes with someone I care about, and I find all this needlessly self-destructive?
No.
Would you believe that I give a shit about Jake?
No.
Would you believe that I can't help but meddle in situations where my meddling is perhaps least welcome?
Yeah, okay, that one I can believe.
Shit. Okay, so, yeah. I guess I just don't know what your endgame is. Do you really think that it would be good for literally anyone if Dirk and Jake got back together?
I do, actually.
Why?
Okay, this is cheesy, but whatever. I believe in them. Look, sometimes shit just gets complicated and people who really love each other fuck up. It'd be rad if the hard part was getting together, and you know I'm not saying that part is easy. Obviously, can you imagine? But life isn't one of those things where you earn XP and level up and never slide backwards or do really stupid shit. I don't think their past bullshit means they should give up on each other. Do you really think we only get one chance with the person we were supposed to be with?
No.
Okay, so how are your qualms now?
I won't get in your way. I probably wouldn't have anyway, really. Dave, sometimes it sucks being the reasonable one.
You don't actually have to agree with me. I'll cut your song if you want. We can put something else there.
No, I'll do it. It might be good for me.
I really care about you, sis.
I know. I care about you too.
In front of the closed curtains, Muppet John plays the piano as Barbie Jake sings.
Let someone start believing in you. Let him hold out his hand. Let him touch you and watch what happens.
Cut to Understage. Barbie Jane finds Barbie Roxy brushing her Muppet's fur.
I don't trust Dave.
Like in general, or...
I think he wants to use this production to push Dirk and Jake back together.
Ah, hun, have you met Dave? Kid's the most non-interfering POS in the world. Love him to bits, but he tries to wait on his own damn table when we go out to dinner. He's not conspiring to do something that would be obs a bad idea, right?
Right.
Cut to another part of Understage. Barbie Dave is standing in a doorway, conspiring with Barbie Carcat.
Now, obviously I fully intend for Dirk and Jake to get back together. You know I support you like the sturdiest memory hammock this side of Paradox Space. In just about every fucking endeavor, might I add. But, and I genuinely can't tell if you know this, or if you're intestine deep in merry fraternal-based denial. Dirk's a dick.
No, he's a total dick, I know. I'm not just doing this for him, though I absolutely would just do it for him. Look at that gorgeous idiot out there.
Cut to Jake, still singing.
Let him hold out his hand. Let him touch you and watch what happens. Want someone who can look in your eyes and see into your heart.
Cut back.
Despite all appearances, and I know he puts up a pretty distracting front, that foxy simpleton is not happy, Carcat.
What, you think you're saying something groundbreaking here? Jake's never been happy. Here's another tidbit that'll explode your belief gland. Being with Dirk does not improve this. In fact, not happy is a high point that comes after not being with Dirk for years. This is the best we can do.
That's fucking depressing, dude. This is the Muppet Show. Could you lighten up?
The Smuppet Show.
Right, the Muppet Show. That's what I said.
If there was a way to make Jake happy, I'd shit my pants with excitement and cheerily eat said shit in celebration while the world looked on in appropriate horror and condemnation. You don't make people happy, Dave. You support them and hope they get there on their own. Besides, you don't get to meddle in shit like this.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Rose told me that you liked me and that I should ask you out when we were 14, and it took a literal fucking decade for you to do anything about it.
There's applause, but that's for the onstage show, not Karkat's sweet burn.
Okay, that's rude. And you could have done something. Shut up.
Just let them do this in their own time, okay?
What I'm hearing here is that you'll absolutely help me, and I thank you for your support.
Oh my god.
Stage is set for another Austin-ish scene. Christ, I don't know what it is. I'd ask Rosebot for input. I mean, a version of her is supposed to have been the one to have written this. But this is my project, and I'm perfectly capable of thinking of what people do socially. Maybe too capable. If you think about it, that's my fatal flaw. I'm too damn good at the things I do. Okay, let's say they're in the gardens again. It's not too lazy to reutilize sets, it's efficient. Besides, it's a callback. At this point in the show, Dirk and Jake have gone through an emotional journey. Dirk confessed his love, Jake freaked. Dirk confessed his love again. Jake freaked, but in a way that resulted in his doing something that made no sense. Dirk attempted to get the story back on track. Jake sang about magic, or whatever. Dirk proposed. Jake rejected him. Is there a theme here? Yeah, you bet there is. Not even a fantasy version of myself can tie Jake down. It would undermine the realism. So yeah, it's a callback. Because they're starting fresh. Dirk is starting from the start, trying to be respectful this time. Let's see how well that works out.
You remind me of the babe.
What, babe?
Your magic, Jake. And I don't mean your wizardry. Holy fuck, do I not mean your wizardry. Are you feeling flattered?
Well, maybe you remind me of the babe.
Oh god, why are you like this? Why does this work for me?
The babe with the power. Sure, okay, I guess, if I'm into it. It may as well happen. What power? The power of voodoo. Who do? You do. Do what? Remind me of the babe.
I saw my baby crying hard as babe could cry. What could I do? My baby's love had gone and left my baby blue. Nobody knew what kind of magic spell to use. Slime and snails, or puppet dog tails, thunder or lightning. Dance the magic dance, dance the magic dance. Put that baby spell on me. Jump the magic jump, jump the magic jump. Put that magic jump on me. Slap that baby, make it breathe. I saw my baby trying hard as babe could try. What could I do? My baby's fun had gone and left my baby blue.
The camera only stays with this production for a few more seconds before it retreats to where Barbie Jade is talking to Barbie John. Their Muppet forms are both on stage with all the other Muppets.
What do you think of all this?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're kind of the only one who loves Jake with no ulterior motives.
Oh, wow, John, that's a really sad thing to say.
I know. So, what do you think?
I think everyone treats Jake like he's simple, like uncomplicated. I don't mean stupid. He's not stupid.
isn't he? No offense.
He's literally a rocket scientist and a movie TV producer and a survivalist, and oh my god, he knows so many movies and trivia, it's insane.
Okay, so he's not stupid.
He's not. And he's not anything else that can be summed up in one word. I guess I relate to him sometimes, except I think I could be happy if someone chose me, even if it wasn't perfect.
Do you, need a hug or something?
No, not really. Thanks, though.
So you don't think this'll work?
Just because I don't think there's some magic solution that makes Jake happy, doesn't mean I don't want this to happen. I don't believe in soulmates. I don't think there's just one person out there for everyone. I always thought that was a really fucked up premise.
I don't know. Isn't it nice to think that everything is going to be okay? That there is a plan?
I guess. It's not, though. And that's the thing. I think that being with the right person makes you believe that soulmates do exist.
John looks towards the stage.
This is a story about how maybe a love flicked off and left my baby. Slippery lover isn't always a bad guy, but the devilish motherfucker when they made him cry. To which I said, Gadzooks, put on my dukes. Boy, howdy, it's time to get rowdy. I drive an Audi. So I whipped out my hat, got my beard all nice, and said, keep my baby all fixed into trice. But magic, you know, always comes with a price. It's imprecise, roll the dice, just a word of advice. And there's spells of all kinds when you look for the signs. A clever boy like me sticks with the guidelines.
John and Jade studiously ignore this.
Is that it? You think someone is your soulmate and then it turns out that someone else is theirs and you missed your shot?
John, I literally just said soulmates aren't a thing. If you find someone new who makes you feel that way, you'll probably think that whatever you had with Roxy wasn't real compared to your new soulmate experience.
Wow, way to make assumptions, Jade.
I think Jake thinks Dirk is his soulmate. I definitely think Dirk thinks that about Jake. I don't know if we should meddle, but that's not my call.
I don't think Dave and Roxy even know what they're doing with this.
What do you mean?
You know, they're showing their buddies that they support them getting back together, even after everything.
What does that matter? It's up to Jake and Dirk, isn't it?
Maybe. I think it'd be lonely to be with your soulmate without your family, though.
What do you think about all this?
Obviously, I think that Dirk is very sexy and smart.
Really?
No. Just no. I do not really have any stakes in this.
Fair.
Empty without me, and I'm blue, it's true, this magic's overdue. My love's gone, it's all wrong, I'm only so strong. Just wanna belong, and this song's gone on too long, so...
The song finishes, and the background Muppets clear the stage.
You know I enjoy our ridiculous rap sessions. Hell, I'm coming over as nostalgic as Jason Segel when he wrote the Muppet movie. But that's not what I meant. Bro, I am completely and irretrievably balled up by almost everything you say.
I don't remember the guest stars being this involved in the Muppet Show.
The Smuppet Show.
Sure.
Are they involved? It stinks too much for me to tell.
I can help you understand.
Dirk puts his hand on Jake's back and guides him downstage. The curtains close behind them, and Dirk immediately drops his hand and steps slightly away. Dirk and Jake sing a heartfelt duet while Muppet Jade and Muppet Dave accompany them on guitar and turntables, respectively.
Look at me, here I am, right where I belong. I see that face coming back to me like an old familiar song. What better place could anyone be? 'Cause you're here with me. It's all I've been looking for and so much more, and now I'm here, now you're here. Nothing can go wrong 'cause we are right where we belong.
Jake turns to face Dirk to the exclusion of the audience.
Look at us, here we are, right where we belong.
Dirk only makes it awkwardly to the end of the line before human Dirk plucks Barbie Dirk from the stage and puts him in the opera box. The music stops, leaving complete silence for the second time since the show began. The show is Dirk's, and cannot continue without him. I think I've had enough of this. I can endure a lot, but Jake has always tested that. I retreat to the sanity of my daughter's company, not Terezi's. I evict her from the opera box, and she clatters impressively to the plebs' seats.
Stop me if you've heard this one.
I've certainly heard that one.
Sometimes I think you have no appreciation for an homage.
Go on. Tell me your joke.
Okay. Paul Auster, Jonathan Safran Foer, and Dirk Strider walk into a bar. Paul Auster turns to the others and says, "An author playing at being detective, a detective playing at being author, and a man who disappeared into another man's life walk into a bar." No, wait. Don Quixote, Walt Whitman, and Herman Melville walk into a bar, but the other two men don't want to hear him make up his mind about which joke to tell or about what the fuck is going on with his bilious melange of an identity, and they give up on the joke. 10 minutes in the past, Paul Auster, Jonathan Safran Foer, and Dirk Strider walk into a bar. Jonathan Safran Foer turns to the others and says, "An author commissions a Ukrainian liar to help him tell the truth through fiction. The Ukrainian tells the story of the two of them seeking a family history that will help the present make sense. The author tells the story of a family that seems cursed not to feel love the way they should. In the end, the Ukrainian character loves the author of the book he's in, and the author feels less alone." The other two men feel uncomfortable with a man who can so openly seek love within the self, and so they give up on the joke. 15 minutes in the past, Paul Auster, Jonathan Safran Foer, and Dirk Strider walk into a bar. Dirk Strider turns to the others and says, "4 Dirks stand in an antechamber. There are as many chairs as there are stairs, which is to say, a lot. There is an inverted rhinoceros here. A withered tree grows incongruously next to the fireplace. Above the stage is suspended a shoddy reproduction of Damien Hirst's Some Comfort Gained from the Acceptance of the Inherent Lies in Everything, except with a horse. It drips." The other two men realize that they have wandered too far into metafiction and begin a fight to the death. They kill each other in simultaneous blows, and understanding what is expected of him, Dirk Strider decapitates himself.
At first I wasn't certain it qualified as a joke, per se. But then I understood that the joke leaves its punchline implied, as is only appropriate for such a metatextual joke. In order to appreciate it, the audience must zoom the point of view out this last step themselves, acknowledging the existence not only of the several layers of Dirk Striders within the body of the joke itself, but the real Dirk Strider in front of them, who apparently believed that telling the joke was a good idea. That is the comedic denouement, and it's truly brilliant. You're to be commended.
I stare at Rose as I process her assessment. And then I turn and leave. What a fucking smartass. I didn't raise her to be that way. I hear the sound of Rose's repulsive laughter as I exit the box. Terezi has somehow rejoined her. I'm sure it was a really impressive joke they just shared. Fucking Statler and Waldorf wannabes. Anyone can be a critic, a parasite on creativity. The real skill is content creation. Dirk looks back at the opera box he just left Rose in, then back to the stage. He's not impressed.
And we're back. If you thought that was saccharine, I hope you brought your hanky. No, I don't. Hankies are disgusting. Okay, look, here's the thing. We're deep in this shit now. If you've made it this far, you've passed an impressive litmus test, so here's your reward. Back to back, Dirk Sincerity. Please put your hands together for my brother, Mr. Dirk Strider.
garden sick. Yeah, we're calling it back again. It's not laziness if it serves a purpose. Dirk's solo is not one with an abundance of dignity. For Dirk to express sincerity, it must be cloaked in bullshit, which in this case involves the kind of costuming that Elton John would be proud of and interpretive dance. There are theatrics of a ridiculous nature involved.
This is my dream come true. The day has come for us to say I do. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Nothing in the world means more to me than you. I've waited so patiently. I know you were the only one for me. Always knew this day would come. It's written in the stars, it's destiny.
You might expect something to happen while Dirk sings. After all, almost all the other acts had simultaneous backstage action. Where's the juice? And look, I hear you. But this, right here, is where the juice is. I might not be comfortable expressing sincerity, but if I'm gonna sing about Jake being the only frog for me, you're gonna sit there and take it.
We'll settle down and start a family. Have a mini you and a mini me. A little green dude and a little orange chappy. They'll learn to say hello and say goodbye. We'll grow gray and old, live a quiet life. Just you and I. Hand in hand we'll stay together forever and ever. So how can something so right feel so wrong tonight? After all we've been through, why do I feel I don't know you?
How can something so right feel so wrong inside? How can something so good leave me feeling so bad? How can my dreams coming true leave me lonely and blue? How come the happiest day of my life is so sad? How can I feel the high when I feel so low? After all we've been through, after coming so far, is this my destiny? The man of my dreams. Where's the love that's written in the stars?
How can something so right feel so wrong tonight? After all we've been through, why do I feel I don't know you?
Dirk finishes his solo. He bows before he leaves the stage. The curtains swish closed. In front of the closed curtains, Muppet Kanaya stands in front of an old-timey microphone.
The first time you see her, no bolt from the blue, just something so quiet that's waiting for you, with no one to tell you where you got to go. The first time it happens, you know.
How do you tell if a vampire is sick?
Terezi, I'm having a moment.
She won't stop coughing!
Terezi, please.
This isn't real. Do you want to bail? I'll bail with you. It's not like I care about his non-existent feelings or his weird projects.
Thank you, but I'm fine. As you say, it's not real. The coffin joke was good. You once chose to separate yourself from Vriska. How did you get through that?
With scrumptious mental health, obviously. As should be obvious, because only someone truly happy would come aboard the SS Party Town with you and Captain Boysenberry Butt.
Obviously. The guest list was restricted to those who aced the DAS test.
There's nothing for me in a universe without her. And the only person who made me forget that for a little while is gone too. I got through it, because that's what you do. And if I thought it would buy me a second more with either of them, I'd kill you both and gorge myself on your tongue-tingly circuit boards.
Ease up on the affection, Terezi. You're embarrassing yourself.
You may be wondering where Vriska is. She's not here. It's not because I have anything against her. I never officially met her. But she has a tendency to steal the spotlight, and I want it to myself. I may also have a tiny problem with how people keep comparing me to her. And shit, I don't actually want Terezi to kill me.
Just something so quiet that's waiting for you.
Cut 2. Sweeping shot to understage, where Barbie Jane is talking to Jake. Jane is carrying her Muppet over for the next scene, and Jake is in the way, seemingly without noticing that he's right in the middle of the wings.
So, good show, right?
So good! Smashing! Spiffing! Absolutely tops!
Right. Very good stuff.
There's a pause. It goes unsaid, and ironically said, that it's awkward as shit.
Right, well, Jade said she'd glue my beard back on, so...
Wait! How are you feeling?
We're doing Regency times, Janie. I don't think I have to express my feelings at all.
Because I thought it might be awkward. You know, with Dirk.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you used to date Dirk.
I did.
So, I worry this might bring up some feelings that you might want to discuss with me.
Oh no, Jane, I couldn't do that to you. You've been my unpaid and unappreciated therapist too many times for me to use you like that again.
I just want you to be happy.
I really believe that. You know, I think I believe that about everyone here. That's nice, isn't it? We've had some rocky times, haven't we, Jane? Just kick after kick to the nards. But now we're getting out of the haze.
I suppose so.
And though you feel much more than you dare to show, the first time it happens, you know. The first time it happens, you know.
There's applause for Kanaya's performance. She squeezes behind them, hugging herself and staring at her feet. Jake makes room and watches her leave, unsure if he should go after her, if she needs comfort so bad that even his might do. He's a pretty compassionate guy, but he also just doesn't want to go. He convinces himself that he doesn't want to make things worse, and stays.
I think this is what we should have been doing all along.
The Smuppet Show?
Why not? It's brought us all together. Anyway, I really do need my beard glued on.
With temporary glue, Jake. Make sure she uses temporary glue.
Right you are.
The camera pans to where Dirk and Muppet Jane are talking, on stage.
Ms. Crocker.
Mr. Strider, I heard a rumor that Mr. English had proposed to you, which is impossible.
Why impossible?
Because he's engaged to me.
Cool. So, why are you here? Like, if shit's impossible, why'd you bother to come talk to me?
Jane pauses, somewhat awkwardly. But not as awkwardly as she just was with Jake. There's degrees to this shit.
Okay, we're not actually engaged, but you gave up on him. It was you who told me to go for him.
Guess he couldn't resist my animal magnetism. God, I hate that line.
Dirk looks to the wings, where Roxy grins and gives a thumbs up. It's Roxy's script, after all.
Mr. Strider, you're always making this really difficult. You've always heard my side, and you've always guided me the best way you know how. So let's talk. without you being a judgmental so-and-so.
Okay.
Why do you do this? Why do you arrange us all in place, then change your mind and leave us with a ruddy big case of whiplash?
He didn't even propose to me. He's off being a wizard or some shit, I don't fucking know.
But that's where this is all going, isn't it? Could you consider my feelings just once? Or, if that's impossible, and I think it might be, could you consider what the right thing to do is?
Dirk might have had a witty retort ready, but he doesn't come out with it. He looks at his best friend and knows he deserves her condemnation. That he deserves so much more than that.
I'm sorry, Jane. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm sorry.
Dirk.
The hand-holding Muppet Jane drops her, without caring that she has fallen inelegantly, withdrawing out of frame. A moment later it returns, holding Barbie Jane. Does it shatter the illusion if the hand is gray?
That's a touch overzealous for the scene, don't you think?
Yeah, God. Sorry.
You know you can talk to me, don't you?
Not really, no. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm fucking awful at that.
At talking? Well, we both know that's not true. Oh, Dirk, I'm only teasing. I know that speaking directly isn't your strength. I think I know your ways better than anyone else. Our friends, bless them, like to imagine that you're cool.
Which I am.
Of course. But you're not heartless. You have more heart than anyone I know.
I don't think that even counts as a pun at this point.
Of course, you can't express your feelings directly because you learned how to be a man from someone whose main audience was mindless frat boys in it for the memes. Instead, like your bro, you have to couch anything sincere behind walls of irony, a full maze of them.
With me at the center, slurping up the youth of Athens like their delicious ramen, and I'm a weeb asshole insisting on incompetently using chopsticks with a light Yagami body pillow sitting opposite to me on my kotatsu.
You're not a monster. It would be so much easier if you were.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I did. But I'm most sorry for you. You're my best friend, and I dragged you into villainy with me.
You're my best friend, too. You always have been. Well, shucks. I've been resisting this whole transparent setup thing, perhaps obviously.
You're entitled to your resistance. I don't think I could imagine it any other way.
But I want you to be happy. How could I want otherwise?
What are you saying?
I'm saying, you silly duffer, that you should go to him.
But...
Dirk, go to him.
Is this how it goes?
Does it matter if it is?
It doesn't. I see that now. I turn, as if I know exactly where to look to find Jake. I walk quickly, then run the last few steps. I reach out for him, and he reaches back. I look in his eyes, and it doesn't matter that this isn't how it goes. It doesn't matter that we've fucked this up over and over again. We kiss. And it's not that I kiss him, or he kisses me. We do it together. The audience makes an aw sound. I open my eyes. The man I'm holding is a Muppet. Fuck. I can't do this. I, really me, Dirk the fucking human, proceed to shove the stage from its table, to kick it and stomp at it. I really go to town on this piece of shit. I tear down the balcony and uproot the audience's chairs. I don't stop until I feel cold, metallic hands grip my shoulders. I shake them off and turn around so that I can knock the camera over too.
The camera is righted, and gray hands, ringed with joints, required to allow metal to move smoothly in a convincing mimicry of human hands, sift through the wreckage to find two Barbies, Dirk's and Rose's. She hands Dirk's to him and keeps hold of her own. She places her Barbie on the table and looks at Dirk until he copies. How are you feeling?
Rose, it's tearing me apart. Here's how it was supposed to end. Jake,
I clear my throat. Because that is absolutely not what my voice is supposed to sound like.
Jake turns back into a Muppet. Then you and Terezi are revealed to be Muppets as well. My doll is looking in the mirror, the camera pans to show his reflection is, you guessed it, a Muppet. Dave's Muppet comes on stage and thanks the audience for watching as an unsettling version of Am I a Man or a Muppet plays, and that's curtain.
A bit of an anticlimax, considering the production value of all this.
You should have seen us collide.
But you didn't see this through to its lackluster ending.
The ending was fine. I guess I just lost my shit.
Why?
Do we have to do this with the dolls?
Apparently so. Why?
Fine. I liked this reality better. I liked this Dirk better. I got caught up in the show, and I forgot that all of this was complete bullshit until it was basically over.
You miss the people we left behind. I find that strange. There are so many instances of those people that it's illogical to miss these precise ones. And besides, the success of our plan will ensure that they all survive in our new universe. I think none of us are under the delusion that we'll be able to pick up precisely where we left off, but we're working for the greater good here. If you'll allow me to use the phrase, the greater good, when discussing a plan that is not completely fucking evil. It's surprising that I have to tell you this.
It is the greater good. I'm sustaining this story the best way I know how. I'm depressed, but I'm not fucking suicidal. I can drag this bitch out for hundreds of read hours. Thousands.
Get it? Read hours. Like light years. Whatever. I can, you know. Even if one by one the team moves on to better things, even if I have to institute a hiatus that makes the Gigapause look as inconsequential and as mildly aggravating as the cat taking a shit in Junior's sandpit. I can always hire new people to see out my vision. I can always pick the fucking thing up myself. I can always choose some random fucking fanfic and canonize that. We'll spend 5,000 panels watching Yiffy play soccer, seeing as apparently that's the kind of thing that people want to see. This can go on forever.
I think that this is one of those instances where the destination is worth tolerating the journey, not the other way around. We'll do better in the next universe. Nazism does not have to be a multiversal constant, regardless of evidence so far to the contrary. When we finally get a planet that meets that incredibly low bar, we can find peace.
Peace? What the fuck do we do with peace?
You'll descend further into arts and crafts, if this is any indication. We'll do what we're doing now, but with better company and without the unreasonable amount of pressure that comes with saving the future of all life. You could have this, you know. This production might be a fantasy, and I doubt you'll get Dave anywhere near a puppet, so it wouldn't be exactly the same. But everyone could make something together. Roxy and I could write, Dave could direct, you and Jake could star, just like this. I know that part of the fantasy is that this was written by someone else, directed by someone else, that Dave and Roxy cared so much about you that they went to this kind of trouble for your happiness. But if you want to get back together with Jake, if you want to do it on your own terms, because it does have to come from you, I don't think you should give up hope.
I could never have this.
I put my doll down. But I've never been especially talented at shutting my goddamn mouth, so I pick it back up.
A man getting bit by an alligator and he screams. Okay, quiet. Hey, quiet. Stood out towards me. Okay, right.
The first one you did up here was much better. No, not an owl. A real scream of pain.
This is too much attention to be given to my mental breakdown. It's not the first time I've lost my mind all over the pages of a creative project, and you can be damn sure it won't be the last. It doesn't take the whole goddamn play to expose these kinds of feelings. You show 2 pages, then you move the fuck on to the next inanity.
It was a spectacular mental breakdown, though.
Thanks. I don't think this is canon. This is tautology. Canon is somewhat more efficient, and I do mean somewhat.
Rosebud goes very still.
If this isn't canon, something else is.
We failed.
Someone else is. Tearing me apart. Rosebud, I said this was tearing me apart. I'm a fucking splinter. Oh, wow. Wow. Fuck the main Dirk. Am I right?
We're ultimate. We're all Roses and all Dirks.
Oh, believe me, I'm not him. Fuck. I don't know where we go from here. What happens after canon? Where do we go?
Do you really not know? Have you really never asked me?
I refuse to answer. Rosebud doesn't look pitying, just concerned.
When you read, say, Peter and Wendy, those characters are alive in your mind, right?
Right.
Tinkerbell needs people to believe in her, or she dies.
I know this.
Is she alive in your mind right now?
I hesitate.
You're not currently reading Peter and Wendy, but you are thinking about Tinkerbell. That story has been around since 1904, but Tinkerbell is alive in your mind now, uncountable time and universes away from when and where she was written.
Rose doesn't lie to me.
We don't die?
We're immortal. Hell, we're notorious.
I laugh. I don't know if I believe her, but I laugh. But even if she's wrong, even if we're not that kind of enduring, and I can't see Disney buying the rights, we're not even the ones who can continue the story. Not if this isn't canon. That pressure, that unreasonable pressure that Rose was talking about, it's just gone. Leave that to the main guy. Leave all of it to him. I don't have to be here. None of us do. He has it all in hand. It's his job to maintain the interest of the audience. We can go and do something off-screen.
Kinda burned some bridges, though. That son of a bitch Alpha Dirk backed me into a corner here, where the only thing to do is keep going. Is this how Candy Dirk felt? Doesn't matter. I'm better than that motherfucker, too.
I don't understand.
We're going home. I'm going to fix everything.
How?
I got a couple Deus Ex Machina up my sleeve. You should have noticed by now that I like making references and callbacks.
You amaze me.
Do you remember feeling before as though there was nothing you could do? That you'd failed so monstrously that your path was irredeemable? That was it? No more lives? Game over, man, game over?
I sent John to his death. We don't have that option anymore.
Of course we do. I didn't invite Terezi along for her charming personality.
But everything is lost. You showed me what would happen if we stayed on Earthsea. We had to leave.
I showed you what would happen if I ripped the light and soul out of the planet.
I drop my doll and hold my hand out for hers. She puts her doll down with considerably more care, then takes my hand.
Rose, I'm going to fix everything.
My hand starts to glow pink in hers.
Looks like you got a splinter under your skin there. Let's start with that.
She looks surprised, but not alarmed. She doesn't fear me. When I'm done, she pulls her hand away.
Go get your body. And John's.
Rose leaves. I pick up my doll and measure it in my hand. Jake's Muppet is still center stage, so I pick him up too. I bring their faces together in a facsimile of a kiss.
Oh, fucking hell, why the fuck did I do that? Swear to Christ I'm cooler than that.
Is there more I could have said? Now there are only pictures in my head. That's why my green is feeling gray. Sometimes even frogs have rainy days. Remember when the stage caved in while you were rocking out? Who'd have thought your smorgasbord would be hard to live without? If we could do it all again, just another chance to entertain. Would anybody watch or even care? Or did something break we can't repair? Your cannonball trajectory, it always gave me hope. They may have been unbearable, but I still loved your jokes. Is there more I could have said? Now there are only pictures in my head. Could we do it all again? Make 'em laugh like we did then. On the stage where we belong. We could harmonize for one more song. But I'm staying.